I think Soderquist might have taken that second spot on the general classification. It depends. I was trying to look at where the peloton came in behind, and I think they were around 22 seconds behind, which potentially is enough that Soderquist takes the spot of Nicholas Larsson. So we need to wait for that to be confirmed.
Yeah, because that was, there was 24 seconds between them. So, yeah, the last update I had was 24 seconds. This is boxing in again, isn't it? You can see exactly what he's trying to do. He's trying to make sure Alex Angler can't get out. The Crow Anderson just comes back and over the top.
Yeah, it was clever riding from both riders, actually. One that was trying to make the block, and the other one that knew what was coming and not letting himself go in that situation where he potentially is blocked off.
And maybe that move made a decisive difference, because Alex Angler, I think Pedersen maybe was going to have the best of them, because that was a long sprint from Pedersen. He was beginning to go away again at the end, but that was beautifully played tactics from Little Trek. Really
yeah, I think with the 4-second time bonus, just doing my calculations there, with the 4-second time bonus, Soderquist will have taken second place overall by 2 seconds over Nicholas Larsson.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. That adds up. Great week from Nicholas Larsson, riding for kind of one of the small teams without an awful lot of team support around him. Say, former Uno X rider, so he's a rider of a certain quality and has won this race before. But great to see one of the smaller Danish teams getting a good week out of the Tour of Denmark. As we look over the town of Silkeborg and the lakes and the forests, and doesn't it just look lovely? That's your stage result. Mads Pedersen, Alex Angler, Jakob Soderquist, Matthias Kopecky, Søren Kragh Andersen and Matthias Skelmose leading in the bunch, 22 seconds down. So Matt's quite right about how the splits are going to add up. General classification: Mads Pedersen, Jakob Soderquist, Nicholas Larsson taking out third for the small local team, Lucas Kubis for Tutimo Rockets, and Alex Segard in fifth. Søren Kragh Andersen sixth, Axel van der Turk in seventh.
TNT Sports coverage of men's cycling is sponsored by Service Now.
Estimated collision in T-minus 10. 9.
Can you confirm satellite collision is imminent?
8. 7. 6. 5.
Collision avoidance maneuver.
4. 3. 2. 1. Satellite collision averted.
It takes the whole force to protect space. Join us.
The Spicy McNuggets side mission. McNuggets have leveled up. Maximum flavor. Heat mode on. Crispy crunch. And a spicy dip with a kick. Are you ready?
With the UK's largest choice of homes, if Zoe can find hers, so can you. Rightmove. Believe it.
Now some breaking news and a surprise contender in the marathon.
Yes, Rachel. One of the front runners has caught the leading pack. He's carrying a fridge.
Let's go to the football, Clive.
He's volleyed it in from the spider car.
What on earth is going on today? Look at the cycling.
The entire Bolton's hit the wrong turn.
Now look at this from the tennis.
She's just returned the ball from row 6. Which man's going to win?
He is. Whatever the money, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
TNT Sports coverage of men's cycling is sponsored by Service Now.
Hello and welcome to stage 3 of the Czech Tour 2025. This third stage, more or less identical to a stage that the riders covered last year from Prostějov to Ostrava, 148.4 kilometres, and the least elevation of all stages of this Czech Tour. It is the flattest stage, and all expectations are that we're headed for a big bunch sprint in Ostrava, with a little twist in the story. The sprint on the last 500 metres on cobbles in the old town. Another hot day here in the Czech Republic, 31 degrees. Live pictures now with 51 kilometres to go in this stage 3 of the Czech Tour. And the early break has been slightly reduced from its original inhabitants. There were 5. Now there's just 4 riders left up the road, with just 1 minute and 4 seconds ahead of the peloton. Domestiques in full action in the chase, trying to set up a big bunch sprint in Ostrava. We've had the one KOM of the day, Nicolo Garibo, extending his lead in that competition. And he's the man that's dropped out of the break. So he got his job done. All he was focused on was the KOM competition. So he's now dropped back and into the peloton. The other 4 staying out here. We're at 39 kilometres to go. And the break pushing on hard. And they've extended their gap from what was just a few moments ago, just 3/4 of a minute, back out to nearly 1:15. So the peloton led by James Knox from Soudal Quickstep, just riding tempo, no panic. But the break with 4 riders taking the opportunity to keep pushing things on hard. And now there's a little bit more reinforcement coming in the peloton. XDS Astana also got good reason to help with the chase. On stage 1 in the bunch sprint, they had Gleb Syriza in 3rd place. And they actually managed to overpower Soudal Quickstep in the lead out briefly, until their lead rider went a little bit wide in the final turn and brushed against the barriers. But they also were missing one of their, what could either be a lead out man or their actual protected sprinter, who had a mechanical with just 6 kilometres to go on stage 1. So XDS Astana development team also confident about their chances today in a bunch sprint, hence offering up one rider in the chase behind the break. Visma Lease Bike, the other team, has been working along with the others, doing a little bit less, but still making a contribution. But it may be getting close, Pippa, to time that we see some fresh reinforcements from these chasing teams, because the break has now edged further away. In fact, they've put 35 seconds into the peloton over the last 3 or 4 kilometres. So they've turned things up.
Yeah, at some point they're gonna do what almost every break does nowadays, and they start going full, at their maximum, to try and surprise the peloton and take what basically becomes a couple of free minutes if the peloton doesn't react. So you can see there's a lot of guys here coming back from that comfort break. So you imagine that the orders will come from the team cars that put a couple of fresh guys on the front, and we'll take this gap down to 30-40 seconds again, and then just control it from there. And also that's the case in the front. Once those guys start seeing 10k to go, they're going to start